What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Isolation Podcast, where it's one man with one focus, and that's all buckets. Today, I decided to bring a very special guest, a very good friend of mine. I'm not even going to say his name, though, because I like it more when he says his name. He has a whole catchphrase. Go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
Hey, what's good? It's your man Zobe One Kenobi of Nomad Hoops. Don't act like you don't know me. You know me, Zobe. What's going on?
Not much, man. Not much. Just, trying to just survive during these times, man. That's really all it is.
Truth. That's the truth, man.
You know what
You
I'm saying? There's so much going on, but that's actually the first thing that I kind of want to talk about real quick, or just kind of want you to kind of, tell us about. But how has COVID-19 affected you?
COVID-19 has affected me in the sense of pretty much like people, everybody at home. When it comes to me doing work, for a lot of people that don't know, I'm a cybersecurity professional first. I work for a very large tech company that's in the U.S. and I've always had the ability to work from home. So it's not a real big change when it comes to what I do as an ethical hacker, to working from home to actually having to stay at home.
Right.
But for the most part, what I will say is when it comes to like going to a gym or going to like specific stores, I can't do it. But it doesn't like affect me too badly like it does a lot of other people, because I've been isolated once before in Iraq as a government contractor about 10, 11 years ago, where basically you're in a war zone. You can't go but so many places.
Okay. What about basketball wise? How has it affected you? As far as playing the game, because I know that around, at least in my area, you know what I mean, out here in Vegas, it's real rough trying to find somewhere to hoop at, because a lot of these parks and stuff like that. Even today, now that Nevada has reached phase 2, in the plan to turn things back to normal, and even still today, after entering phase 2, we have restaurants, we have a lot of things that are open still, except for casinos. That's coming up next. But even these parks, they don't have any rims. Like, they took out all the rims from a lot of these parks so that nobody could even think about it. But like, how has it affected you? Like, did they do something like that over in your community?
Well, so out here in Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina is where I'm at, and out here in our area, they actually did take down some rims in some places. They put some 2x4s over the rims to block the ball. Um, you know, but that for me, I have a secret location. I have a few secret locations that I actually go to. I've had people trying to get in touch with me and through IG that know me and all that, and like, yo, like, can I get an invite? And unfortunately, you know, if they haven't found out that I'm out there, and then they start seeing people coming out there,
Yeah.
then obviously it's going to happen there too. And I'm like, I can't risk it, because I need to stay in some type of tip top shape for FIBA 3X basketball. But when it comes to working out, the only thing that I'm really missing in the workouts that I get to have is that 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 5-on-5, battle, 3-on-3, whatever. I don't have other individuals to really play with, to really work with the skills that I'm building. So you don't
Right.
know that it don't really work that well if you're not putting it
Usually get
in.
in action. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean. Now, speaking of that, with you and what you do in the FIBA 3x3, like, that's actually very important for you to get those 3-on-3, like that 3-on-3 work in, or 5-on-5, etc. Especially adding in the factor of getting that cardio and whatnots, and testing out your moves, etc. But has is there when it comes to the FIBA 3x3, like, are you just ensuring that you do everything that you possibly can right now just to stay in that shape,
Yeah.
despite like how are you working out? Like, did you change your workout regimen
No, I
for
actually
this?
didn't. I actually didn't change the regimen, because so I have multiple gyms that I was going to before
Yeah.
the COVID, broke out, the pandemic broke out. But what I would do when I go to the gym every morning, I would simulate playing 3-on-3, or simulate the speed of the FIBA 3-on-3 basketball
Yeah.
by um, shooting the jumper. And anytime I shot, run, chase the ball down, get it, come back, pull up, run, chase the ball down, because it's so fast paced. Mind you, in FIBA 3-on-3, it's a 10-minute game, it's a 12-second shot clock, the game goes to 21, and there's no takebacks. The ball only stops if the ball goes out of bounds or if somebody's fouled. And in FIBA 3-on-3, they don't really call many fouls. It's a very physical game, 3-on-3. If you can't hold your own, you will be exposed. You need to switch everything, and if you don't switch, you probably won't get destroyed. So, yeah. So okay. To answer that question, to stay on top of it, no, I haven't really missed anything when it comes to like working out for it, because I don't have people playing 3-on-3 with me in that style. So I had to supplement and make my own environment to be able to even simulate that type of play.
Okay, that makes sense, especially with how fast-paced that is. So it's essentially just like being at the gym, but instead of, having those guys on your team where they might not be so into the game as you are, you know what I'm saying? So it's just having those guys that are really into the game as much as you are. Because I know that going to the park and stuff like that, there's a lot of people that they don't really want to hoop if it's not 5-on-5.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So I'll tell you this. So a lot of people still don't want to play. So another thing about the FIBA, that ball is a 28.5, which is a female size basketball. All right. It's 28.5. Yeah, it's a 28.5 ball. And then it has ridges in it. So it's a wave. If you're familiar with the Wilson wave. Yeah. So it's a Wilson wave ball that's 28.5 in size, right? But it's the weight of a 29.5. So it's the weight of a man's ball. It's the weight of a man's basketball.
Do you know why that is?
Nah, I have no idea.
That is weird.
I have no idea, but I tell you this, bro.
I'm assuming that the waves is supposed to help with your grip on the ball, right? When you release it.
I could not stand the wave. I mean, yeah, it definitely is, because when the wave came out, I can't tell you the year, but I know I was in college. When the wave came out, some places, some high schools were playing with the wave basketball in games. Yeah. And in my head, I'm like, that's cheating, because you're taught to catch the ball and line the ball up before you pull up, right? With just the what do we got? 5-6 sections or whatever, right? So you taught just to do that. But now you got all these ridges, you catch the ball, you just flip it. But I'll tell you this, if you can shoot, and you shoot that 3X ball, is no difference. Only difference is getting your hand used to holding that basketball. Other than the same weight as a man's ball, man, you figure it out, bro. It's cash money all day. I'm talking like everybody can shoot. Yeah. If you can't shoot, you can't play that FIBA 3X, bro. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
But like, okay, so you're what, 6'6"?
Yeah, I'm 6'6". 6'6", and due to COVID, I've gained 10 pounds.
Man, you gained 10, I gained 20. I'm telling you, man, because you still hooping. I'm not really out here because, like I said, we ain't got no rims, man. I just found a spot to hoop at the other day. Oh, I ain't saying where it's at, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I just found a spot. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I'm going to be selfish about it.
That's right.
And in these times, it's every man for himself. It's dog eat dog. You feel me?
Right.
But I will say that at that spot, there's already a good amount of people that go there, and if any more people went, it'd be way too packed. It looked like Rucker.
Oh, it's already too deep then. You got to go out there at odd times.
Yeah, exactly. But it's all good. I'm just glad I found something. You know what I'm saying? But, like I said, being 6'6", you probably have a pretty large set of hands, right? So holding a 28.5 ball, don't you feel like Shaq?
I feel like what I think Shaq would feel like. I do.
Or like MJ, I should say.
Nah, I feel more like Shaq. Like, because it's weird. It's weird shooting, like, think about it. When you go to a gym and, like, say there's a female hooper and she got her ball, and you chilling, she shoots the ball, you get the rebound, you grab it, and then right before you throw it to her, you're like, oh, let me take some mustard off of this because I feel like I'm about to throw this straight through her, right? So, but that's what it feels like when you first grab onto it. And then when you get when you start shooting with, like, for the past, like, I started playing the FIBA style play in August.
Yeah.
I bought a ball and I had a ball in July. I take that ball with me everywhere. That's the only ball I even walk into my own personal gym with, just that ball. And I have a real ball. Like I have a lot of them, but I have a regular ball that's in the car, and I just don't break it out. I only take my FIBA ball in there because that's the only time I'm ever going to get to shoot it. If you don't have it, you won't use it. So I have to carry it. I take it everywhere. I got like 3 or 4 of them now. Yeah, that's my joint, man. If I would have known about this, if I'd have known about FIBA 3x basketball, I would have stopped 5-on-5 a long time ago.
Okay, that makes sense. But with the FIBA 3, there's a lot of people that don't really know about it.
Right.
You know, I can tell you there's a lot of people that follow me or that will tune into this that don't know probably anything about it. You know what I'm saying? So just you've already kind of went through the rules and regulations of how a game of 3-on-3 goes in the FIBA, but can you just give us more of a background on what the FIBA 3-on-3 is?
Red Bull is sponsoring a tournament that is through FIBA.
Okay.
And what they're doing is Red Bull, in connection with USA Basketball, is putting together the first Olympic 3-on-3 team.
Okay.
So 3-on-3 will officially be in the 2021 Olympics, which was supposed to be the 2020 Olympics. And you had to qualify in order to be a part of it. So there's 3 rounds. You had to go through qualifiers. You have to finish in the top 3 in order to qualify to go to regionals, which then the regionals was in 4 different places. The qualifiers was in 12, I believe, 12 different places. 12 and then 4 for the qualifying. And then the finals was supposed to be held in Las Vegas this year, April 17th through the 19th. But because
you was telling me that.
Right, because of COVID, they had postponed everything. Right. And just like they pushed back the Olympics. So the Olympics is supposed to happen in 2021. So it doesn't really skip a beat.
Got you. Now tell us about your journey within the FIBA 3-on-3.
Oh man. So my journey in the FIBA 3-on-3 was, I'm gonna tell you this, the way I even got into it. So NOMADHOOPS is my brand. And I was like, okay, I need to get the name out there. I want people to see it. I want people to know about it. Now, NOMADHOOPS has existed 10 years ago.
Right.
But now I'm really active with it. So I was trying to figure out ways to kind of put it out there. When I woke up one morning, I saw on Twitter that, there was a 3-on-3 by Red Bull. Now, I played in Red Bull's international one-on-one, King of the Rocks, Escape from Alcatraz. I played in all those, right? So I'm familiar with that. Right. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let me see what, where's all the stops and stuff. Maybe I'll pop in there, put a NOMADHOOP team together, just to go in there.
Right.
Turned around, one of the spots happened to be Raleigh, North Carolina. I was like, oh, it's in my backyard. Okay, player. Let me go ahead.
Seems like fate at that point.
Yeah, let me go ahead and get some of this. So, I went on ahead, figured out who I would want to run with me or whatever. Like I didn't really care. I wanted to go play to win, but at the same time, I knew why I was really there. And it was for marketing purposes. And we ended up winning. So, we nice, but, we ended up winning and we qualified and we ended up going to regionals. But the whole time that I was there and we was playing it, I realized, this is the realest gameplay that I've ever played. It's so fast. It's so fast. And I like to think of myself as pretty athletic, to be 6'6",
Pretty athletic.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm only laughing at that because when we met and we was hooping and stuff like that, all I seen was you shoot. And of course, I had to crack some jokes about you, not seemingly being able to dunk and stuff, just because you wouldn't. Just because being as tall as you are, I know if it was me, I'd be dunking I'd dunk till my knees blow out like Derrick Rose.
And there's guys that are like that. And the funny thing is, I think that the reason why I don't dunk so much, other than age now, but like the reason why I never really dunked so much is I'm real logical. I'm a real logical individual, and I will make myself think in a way where this is exactly what I said. I said whether I lay the ball up or dunk it, it's only worth 2 points.
Right.
So I would rather put it up off the glass, knowing that I'm going to get that ball up there, versus, you know, catching a body or whatever. You know, even though, you know, you catch a body, it does something for your team, it does something for you, you know, it amps
And the
it
crowd.
in the crowd, you know, it does a lot. But at the same time, am I going to use all that energy to do that, knowing that they're going to need me back here on D, and they're going to need me, you know, to come back again?
Right.
Oh, you know,
And then do it for the whole duration of the game.
keep doing it the whole duration of the game. And I just never did. But I mean, I started dunking when the first time I ever dunked, I was 12. I was 12.
Yeah.
The first time I ever dunked. But when I was 12, I was only 5'9", about 5'9", 5'10". I know that's tall, but to be 12.
Yeah. No,
you know,
yeah, to be 12 years old. I mean, and to think being 5'9", even though you're 5'9" at 12 years old, it is tall for a 12-year-old. But at the same time, in general, it's not that tall at all, especially to be able to dunk. Like Nate Robinson, 5'9", the way that he dunks. Spud Webb, 5'9", the way that he dunks. You know what I'm saying? Pierre Jackson, the Vegas native, 5'9", the way that he dunks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not normal. And the fact, like, there's a reason why Nate Robinson I think he won 3 slam dunk competitions. You know what I'm saying? In the NBA, because of the fact that he's 5'9", doing what these dudes that are your height, 6'6", are doing. You know what I'm saying? So, and being 12, you were probably seen as like the god of the playground. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't know, but I tell you that, you know, it wasn't like, it was like I did that dunk, and then it was like, for a lot of people that dunk for their first time ever, they dunk and then they can't do it for like,
yes,
like a long duration of time. It's like, I just did this, why can't I not do it again? And it was
right.
like I did it because it was 2 hand backwards. And I was making jokes. I was playing around. I was like, I'm about to dunk this. And it was like a fast break, came down, gathered myself, turned backwards, jumped. You know, my arms are long. So my arms were long too. And I jumped, and I got the ball up there, and I said, boom. And I realized I was holding the rim. And I was like, well, I didn't fall forward. The ball just went behind me, and I'm sitting there bouncing on the rim like, yeah.
Doing pull-ups.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm on that joint like Billy Hoyle, yo. When he caught the dunk at the end, white man can't jump, bro. If I go back, I'm like, yeah.
Like, how the hell I just do this? No, I feel that.
And man, I remember dropping, the ball came down, man. I was like, yo. And I was like, yo. I was like, yeah, yo. I gotta go tell my mom. And then I bailed. I bailed up the hill, like, yo, mom, I just dunked it. And yeah, man. Yeah, so
you probably got a lot of help from the adrenaline. That's probably what that was.
That was the adrenaline.
Yeah, because there's been a time where, I mean, for me, I've never dunked. I've never been able to dunk. The most I've been able to do is just grab rim with like just my fingers. You know, I couldn't actually grab it with my whole hand. I could only grab it with my fingers. But there's, you know, one thing that I do feel like I'm good at and is rebounding. You know, more so just because I have good timing and I actually fundamentally box out and stuff like that when I play, no matter where I'm at and stuff. But there's been those times where the adrenaline would really boost me and I feel like I'm really going off and stuff like that. I'm already like, you know, busting whoever I'm playing, and I see something come off the rim. There was one time where I literally went up for that rebound and I'm looking eye to eye with the rim. Just because, and I could have like Dwight Howard, Superman, you know, threw it back in off the putback. But I was just so amazed that I'm like, I was in the air looking at the rim. So I didn't know what to do from there, you know, besides come back down with it, you know. But that was like a really crazy time. And of course, it's something I've never been able to live out again. Just the adrenaline was unmatched at that moment.
I got a buddy who's about the same height as you. And at that same court, we were all young. Now we're a little bit older. He's older than me. But at this time that I'm talking about right now, I was about 14. And so he was like 15, 16. And he was about your height, but he was like a heavier set guy.
Yeah.
And he used to have jump soles. I don't know if you're familiar with jump soles, but jump soles, the jump soles that he had was the first pair of jump soles. And this right here is from cats that are young that don't know. Like, you may think you know jump soles. Nah, y'all don't know jump soles, bro.
Okay.
These jump soles right here.
Put us on. Put us on.
They weren't the ones where the shoe was attached to the little boost thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's what a lot of people know as a jump sole. Nah, we had original OG jump soles where it didn't matter what shoe you had, it had Velcro straps, and you strap your foot into it. So, you know, you got this big block, probably about like that big, big block. And dudes is walking through school with these things on. I'm talking about like they were like this thick off the ground. And I mean, like dudes and doing calf raises in the middle of class. I'm like, yeah, y'all bugging. I never.
Whatever it takes to get that edge, man.
Yeah, whatever it takes. He had those. Did it forever, bro.
Yeah.
Messed around, banged that joint one day, right? Came back down and decided, you know, he was going to try to do something. Messed around, came down on my foot, broke his ankle. Never dunked again. Yeah, I know it wasn't a story. It was just I just had to bring it up because you know what I'm saying. It thought about that's my bro, man. That's my bro, man. Adrian, man, shout out.
Right. I mean, that's probably more of a testament to why you don't dunk as much.
Well, I'm not worried about that either. But I mean, I'll bang that joint, but it's just.
You probably get more excitement out of like crossing somebody up, putting somebody on the mixed team.
To be honest, man, I get really excited, like pulling up, Kobe shaking, Dream shaking. You know, I'm very excited about putting the ball off the glass because a lot of people can't do that. Like, I can play a game and just shoot everything off the glass.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Awesome D-Wade stuff.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Like,
definitely.
It's tough. I've been doing it for a long time. It's tough to do. It's a tough skill to have, but it'll bail you out. No matter how you leave the ground, how you get hit, if you can line that ball up to that glass, just to shoot it to that glass, right touch, money.
And if quick tip for all those watching that want to learn how to do that and perfect it, if you aim for the top corner of that small box, pretty much guaranteed to get it in every time, as long as you hit that top corner of the box.
Right, you hit that top corner of that box. You make sure you put it off there with the right amount of force. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. And then a lot of players don't expect you to shoot off the glass.
Right.
So, you know, a defender might put their hand up, and defenders don't realize this, but because their back is to the basket. But when their hand goes up, it's the mirror where the ball's at.
Exactly.
But their body, they position themselves in between the goal and yourself. So if they're lined up like that, and you're aiming somewhere other than the rim, because they teach you to aim at the front of the rim when you shoot.
I was always taught to aim at the back of the rim.
People tell you to aim at the front of the rim too. I remember the back of the rim, but the reason why I don't hear so much about the back of the rim is because when you hit the back of it and you got a chance of it like hitting either the little metal beam in the back,
right,
or like just because you can aim for the back of the rim and hit inside the middle of that and it pops back out.
Right.
Where if you're aiming at the glass to the back of the rim, that's a different story. But if you aim to the front of the rim, majority shots, when people shoot shots, majority shots don't touch the rim, right?
Right.
So if you aim for the front of the rim, all you got to do is either get just a little bit over.
Right.
Because the chances of you missing is going to be a lot slimmer than, you know, because you're either going to hit it, it's going to miss, it's going to fall right there in front of you versus you shoot it long and it hits the back of the iron, it's going to fly out. But if you shoot long and you hit the front of the iron, it doesn't go but so far.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, but for me, learning to shoot toward the back of the rim, I wasn't taught by a basketball player. And then from there, I had to learn from there. The guy that taught me how to the guy that told me to shoot and aim toward the back of the basketball, he learned about basketball by reading How to Play Basketball for Dummies.
That's a book.
That's
an actual. They made so many.
They have so many of them for anything and everything. How to do this for dummies. How to do that for dummies. Yeah, he literally. I've seen it in his office after practice one day. He had How to Play Basketball for Dummies.
And it's not wrong. Like aiming for the back of the rim is not wrong. I mean,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what works for me. But mind you, I'm taller, so like
Right.
when I jump the shoot, when I jump the shoot, I can see in the goal. So I'm pulling from 3, and I'm jumping, I'm elevating, I'm looking down. So when
Exactly.
I'm not really putting too much of a right, I'm putting too much arc on it because the defender is not that much taller. That much, that tall to really even be able to block it. Most defenders
Right.
that I end up running into that end up playing me on the perimeter, when I pull up, their hand only makes it like right here.
Yeah.
And even if your hand is right here, like dog, you're talking about a whole nother like 3 to 4 feet
Right.
where the ball is at. Like you're at your max jump. Like there's nothing you can do. And that's the
Right.
bottom. That's just your hand right here, and you're at your max jump. Like you can't check that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of players in the NBA that feel that way. You know what I'm saying? When they hold KD,
Yeah, KD, man, KD.
like there's nobody that's gonna get high enough to block KD. I don't care who you are. You're not gonna get high enough.
So guarding KD, you have to get in his space, and then when you're in his space, force him to at least shoot a fade on you. Now, mind you, this is all outside of like the 3-point line. I mean, if he's in the paint or inside the key, like it's a wrap because that don't even matter.
Right.
Shooting over top of you. He's gonna shoot over top of you regardless. But if you can get him to where his back is turned to you, you can keep him,
Off balance.
I feel like you can slow down the process of him scoring as many buckets as he does, like he does, because you can't check it up front. You can't. I mean, like you're not gonna put your hand in his face. You think about it. He gets in triple. Like think about it, he gets in triple threat. He gets in triple threat, and here he is at like almost 7 feet tall, right? And it's like, what are you going to do? He's in triple threat. Like if the defender's in triple, if the offensive player is in triple threat, and the defender's going to be in what defensive stance, which is what lower than triple threat.
Of course.
You're burnt all day. Like you can get in dog. I love it when somebody gets in defensive stance and I'm in like a halfway triple threat. It's like, yo, I'm halfway standing up right now.
Right. Like you're already halfway up there.
I'm already halfway up there. All I'm doing is just like rotating the ball. Like I'm rotating the ball right in front of you, like getting my hands ready. It's like starting a car or like starting a fire or something. Just like, and my hands do this like with the ball. And I go like this. As soon as it flips right, it just boom. It's just gone.
Okay. Now, so the main reason why I wanted to do this whole interview is so I can get your help in educating the world on the fact that there are a lot of hoopers in this world who are not in the NBA that will give players in the NBA buckets. You know what I'm saying? There are players there are a lot of people in this world who are underrated by the fact that they're not in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, I've been binge watching And One the whole first season. You know what I'm saying? And Rafer Alston, Skip to Malou, one of the more famous players off that genre, I should say.
Right.
He ended up in the NBA, and then he was already in the NBA by the time that they were doing it. You know,
right.
And he helped kind of put them on. If for anyone that's seen it, and he's still out there playing with these guys, and these guys are giving him buckets. These guys are toying with him just as much as he's toying with them. You know what I'm saying? So kind of like when you think about players that aren't in the NBA, and you walk into the gym and you feel like they can give players in the NBA buckets and stuff like that. Like what goes through your mind like walking into the gym and seeing players like that?
So like when I walk into a gym and I see a player that's like, you mean like a player that's like that have the ability to be able to go, that had the ability to possibly go. So for instance, like one of my OGs, man, my man Suge had a 10-day contract with the Minnesota Timberwolves. So my man Suge had a 10-day contract with the Minnesota Timberwolves, right? Anytime I go in the gym and Suge is there, like I stop doing everything that I'm doing. I don't care if I'm in the middle of the game, I go acknowledge him. I don't care if he's in the middle of the game, I acknowledge him. Like he is like, when it comes to like playing ball, like how he sees the court like a pro. He sees the court like a pro should see it. Whatever you think, whatever anybody watching this thinks a pro should see the court, he sees it. And believe me, the pros that see the stuff, it's a totally different world. Because there's certain things that I see that other people just don't see.
Right.
And there's some things that he sees. And like he'll put like these crazy spins and these passes, and it's like it look like he don't see you, and it look like the ball's not gonna get there. And the key to it is if you got a player like that on your team, you never take your eyes off of him, no matter what. If he got the ball, you watch him, because that ball can come to you from any direction. But when I see players like that, I make it a point to definitely go check them, because like that's what you want to do. Like it's like, yo, like he looks like he can really go, man. Like he is out here really going.
Right.
If you're a real hooper, I'm not gonna say if you're a real hooper. You know what I mean? Because some people are real hoopers, and there's still like a pay grade to things now. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
You know, like you be a real hooper and you know, you ain't got no business, you know, at the you ain't got no business out in Berry Farms out there in Southeast DC. You ain't got no business in the Drew League, you know what I'm saying, out there in Cali, you know, but you're a real hooper. No, I ain't knocking nobody. I'm just saying you're a real hooper.
Yeah.
You know, but you may not have any business out there. You know,
Right.
like I'm a real hooper. But at 37 years old, I don't feel like I have any business being in the Drew League. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, why not? Do you think that because of your age?
I feel like that because I know I don't take it as serious as those guys.
Gotcha.
You know? And I feel like if you're going to be a part of something, and you have to be fully, you know,
Invested.
fully invested and vetted into that type of like game mentality. You know, because I can switch it on and off, and I make, you know, executive decisions here and there. Like it's easy for me to turn around and be like, I'm not gonna pursue that.
Right.
I'm gonna leave that alone. That's like playing in the TBT, the $1 million tournament.
Right.
So like, okay, I play in a TBT, but like, do I really want to play in the TBT? Do I really want to, you know, run up and down like that? Like that's why I like the 3-on-3 so much. It's half court. And then like it extends the lifespan of players of certain ages.
Yeah.
So, you know, like there's guys out there that, man, I know guys, dude. I remember I came to a gym. Let's go back to this pro thing, like you just said. We're still on the same topic. I came to the gym that I go to now, and I can't think of the man's name. But he is definitely like all of like 43 or so, right? Mind you, I'm like 30 at the time. I go in this joint, so he's 13 years older than me. Now, mind you, I like to think that I'm nice, right? You know, I like to think I'm nice.
As
so,
you should.
You know, as I should, right? But you know, with respect, like I feel like, hey, I'm gonna get these buckets. You know, I know people gonna get buckets, but I feel like I'm definitely about to get these buckets, and we win. Man, I went out there, and this man roasted me. I'm talking about burnt crisp. I'm talking about like done. It wasn't even like he was like hit me with crazy crossovers and nothing. It was like he'd come down, put it down. And this is before like like he wouldn't like sidestepping and all that stuff. Like that's a generational thing.
Yeah,
like,
that's this generation thing, the sidestep.
Yeah, sidestep. Like I mean, I do it too, but like, what do you call them? Counters. When you have like a counter for the counter, like that's beyond me. I'm like, wait, the whole purpose of the first counter is because the regular move didn't work.
Right.
So you got the regular move, then a counter, and then another counter. Right. But then, you know, anyway.
Then you have to really get into your bag from there, you know what I'm saying? And if everything is getting stopped.
If you have anything in your bag, because that might be what's in the bag.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a skill. Like that's not something that's natural. That's not natural to basketball. You know what I mean? Like now it's becoming that way. But even if you watch the NBA, you don't see them doing a million counters. You don't even see them doing like counters like that. They're doing in and out, go one way. If it don't work, you know what I'm saying? Like
pass the ball, swing it.
Yeah, they're gonna swing it because they done doubled up, so you're gonna swing it. That's what you're supposed to do. What these trainers are having these guys do here, they're like, okay, in and out, step through, spin move, hezzy, behind the back, spin move again, go to the lane, lay up, left hand off the left foot. And I'm like, what? Left hand off the left foot? Nah, bro.
Right, because by the time you're done with all the moves, 24 shot clock's already finished.
it's done. It's done.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not knocking it. I think it's dope if you can do it fast enough or whatnot, you know. But counters are for when you get caught up.
Right.
But if you're playing a real defender, like those counters are not going to really matter.
Right.
It's not going to matter. Like, can you shoot the ball or not? You know, it's just like if somebody posts me up, like you can post me up. I don't really care because you got to turn around to score.
Right.
You have to turn around to score. You're going to have to see me.
At some point.
At any point, you're going to have to see me. So
Right.
you got to turn around. So, I mean, I seen a video the other day, man. This dude, he shoot backward shots or whatever.
Yeah.
You seen that video? Man.
No, I've seen people do that, but I don't think I've seen the video you're talking about.
This dude got a mixtape doing this on people in game, like in play.
Yeah.
Like it's like a teenage kid or whatever, but it's just like he's really like going. And he'll turn around like boom, 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 turn his back and be like, and like shoot the ball. I'm like, yo. I'm talking about like cash. I'm talking about like this ain't no fluke stuff. This is like a normal shot. And he can really shoot the ball too. I'm like, man, he low key. I saw it yesterday. He low key had me thinking like, yo, I need a backward shot. Now, I was like,
Gotta add that to the arsenal.
Man, if you could do that, man, how do you guard that? You can't.
Double team?
You can't guard it. You can't guard it.
Yeah.
You can't guard that. Because if he turns his back, you have to be, you wouldn't know when he's ready to jump and shoot.
Right, because you can't see what he's doing with his hands.
You see what he's doing with his hands, you can't see any facial expressions, you can't see like his eyes, nothing. Like you just looking at the back of his head. He's like,
right.
You see the pump fake or something like he was a funny dude. He would go like this. He'll shoot it backwards, turn around, jump in the air like he shot it, and then it goes. Silly dude, man. But yeah.
That is crazy, yo. That's really crazy. It's crazy to see how creative people can still get. Yeah, send that to me ASAP. All right, now let's get back to the fact that there are, you know, a lot of guys out there in the world that aren't, you know, in the league and whatnot. But why do you think that? Why? I know I could tell the people, but I want you to tell the people. Why are there these guys that exist that could be in the NBA, have the ability to be in the NBA, but they just aren't?
I think that the reason, I mean, there's multiple reasons.
There's so many.
There's so many reasons, but I'm going to say the main reason that affects players before they even get to college and even in college and why they don't go to the NBA is being uncoachable. And being uncoachable doesn't necessarily mean that you're disrespectful. Yeah. You ain't spree welling nobody. You just, for the younger crowd out there, Latrell Sprewell choked his coach out. But Sprewell it's just you think you know it all, and I get it. You think you know it all
because you're out there getting the buckets, you're out there busting everybody's ass,
right? But you're also in one location doing, rich dad, poor dad. I am not gonna get into it like that, but they talk about having a business and matching it up to everything. And it's not about taking over everything. It's about taking over your location. That's great for business, but that's exactly what the player is doing. If you're not expanding and going out other places, traveling to do battle or whatever, then, if you ain't traveling to do battle against any player who's sterile, then you're really just in your backyard. Right. And it's cool. You'll be a local legend, right? And that's fine. But a lot of guys are uncoachable, or so it might be extra things they need to work on. Like I was one of those players. Yeah. I played in the NBDL Summer League in 2007. I played with the first year the Iowa Energy came to NBDL, and Coach Nick Nurse was my coach, which is the head coach for the Toronto Raptors, right? And when I got there, they put me in like the 4 and the 5 position, which I was way smaller.
Way too small for that.
Yeah, I was way too small for that. You talking about like NBA pro level still? Like, right. I'm 6'6", but I'm like, dude, like that's how I know 6'6" isn't like in NBA in basketball world. That's not tall.
Today with small ball though.
Today
it's different.
I mean, it is small ball, but look who you got bringing the ball down.
Right.
You
No,
know what I
I,
mean?
I get what you're saying. I'm just saying today, something like that would work. Something like you would probably look at that like today, if that all that happened, you'd probably be like, okay, maybe I can try to work with that. You know what I'm saying? Just
Right,
because it's more
right,
normal
right,
now versus back then. Nah, there's nobody playing the 4 or the 5 that's under 6'10".
right, man. I got a video clip of me at camp. I got a video clip of me at camp. It was on NBA TV, and it had me shooting a three over this dude that was 7'3", bro. I mean, I hit the shot, but I'm like, yo, like I, dude, I had him on the block. I did my patented, step out real quick, get out to the outside. I mean, it was a split second. I'm talking about my release went fast enough. He would have beat that right through the wall.
Right.
And I'm talking about like I got out there, turned, pulled up, shot. I'm talking about he closed out so fast. I promise you, he took like one step from the block, and then we playing NBA 3, so from the block to the 3-point line, and he jumped. I'm like, man, like
He's so long.
yeah, it's nothing I can do about it. I hit it, but
Right.
it's just different. It's just different. So a lot of guys, like I said, they're uncoachable, and they just want to do what they want to do. I was talking to some guys today, and they were talking about some of their old teammates that they had, and they were just all about trying to get off. They were all about just trying to get off, just trying to do what they want to do. Let me rock out. Okay, that has so many different meanings, but that's not a really good meaning, because let me rock out mean let me do this, let me win this. That's how I take it. I don't take it as let me work with the team. Let me do everything I can in my power. Like, nah, let me rock out mean I'm going to get these buckets. I'm getting all these buckets, like by any means necessary. Like, I don't need any help, no backup. That's what I interpret.
Right.
Let me rock out.
Me too.
Yeah.
You know me. Same thing as you, man. We all about them buckets.
Right. I mean, but see, I don't believe in like rocking out though, because I get hung up like easily. I'm like, okay, I play it like it's I don't know, it's strategic. Like I might come out and I'm a cook. You know what I'm saying? And I cook with whatever move it is, and I continue to do the same thing over and over and over again. Then when you lock that up, that's when I go into the bag and I pull something else out.
Right.
So I got like 30 different things I can do, but you might only see, like, even people that know me, they only seen like, know me for years. They have only seen like 2 or 3 things. And it's like a gem to see me do something that's just like outside of the norm. Like if I reverse, like if I like hit somebody in and out and then drive baseline and reverse bang it, you know what I'm saying? Like, whoa, where'd that come from? It's not something, it's just something I just don't do.
Right.
But
unless you feel like you have to or something like that. Same thing for me. I mean, just to kind of relate, I go left a lot, to the point where people think that I'm left-handed, and I do that on purpose, just knowing that my left hand is my weak hand. So it's like people think that my left hand's my strong hand. Wait till I go right. You know what I'm saying? Then you're really gonna see. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I hit you with that in and out cross. Ooh-wee. I'm already gone. You still back there. I'm already at the rim.
Yeah, exactly. That in and out is bread and butter, man. Like, I think every player should have an in and out, definitely. But I mean, that with players being uncoachable, I keep saying that because that's really the main thing. Because there's so many guys with so much talent, and then of course, yes, there are politics. There are a lot of politics. They had a draft. That was the first year they had a D draft, was when I was there. I wasn't drafted, and do I think it was politics? I don't think it was politics in that.
Yeah.
But while I was there, Melvin Levitt was there. Melvin Levitt played with Kenyon Martin at Cincinnati, and Melvin Levitt was at he's the first helicopter before John Humphrey's helicopter that I know of. He's here in North Carolina, but helicopter from AN1. So John Humphreys is helicopter from AN1, and Melvin Levitt is the helicopter.
Yeah.
So if you ever see a old school, like a real old school college dunk contest, he jumped over the ball rack. He jumped over like a couple of ball racks or whatnot, like 1 or 2. And we talking about 90, 98, 99 or something like that. Because I was like still in like high school, bro. Like it was like 98, 99, and he did that, and it was dope. you know.
And a ball
But
is like 3 foot.
right. I mean, but he was there, and it was crazy to see him because he wasn't taller than me. He was like six, he was like 6'3", like 6'3", 6'2", 6'4", 6'4" on paper. You know, he's definitely like 6'3" though. But it was just crazy to see him. But he wasn't drafted either.
Right.
You know, so there was a lot of different types of
Yeah. No, politics is definitely a real thing. It's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? I always think about the politics of basketball, just because I felt like I was a victim of it as well. But you know, there's ways to climb out of that or to maneuver around it and stuff like that. But to do that, you just have to, the right opportunity has to fall on your lap. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of guys in the league that, you know, for example, Jonathan Simmons. He's the example I want to use. So Jonathan Simmons, he came from the D League, ended up on the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And he was balling with the Spurs. He was really balling to the point where he got a contract in Orlando, a nice hefty contract. Now the thing is, if he would have stayed in my opinion, if he would have stayed in San Antonio, he definitely would have continued to thrive because of the system that he was in. Helped him thrive. It went well with his style of play. You know what I'm saying? Which is he's a dog. He's a dog. You know what I'm saying? He'll go and get after the ball on both ends. You know what I'm saying? But when he went to Orlando, you know, and another thing is in San Antonio, the focus was less on him. You know what I'm saying? Because you got LaMarcus Aldridge was there. I think no, he wasn't even there. They still had Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu. You know, Kawhi was there, etc. So he had all these people ahead of him where he could go and do his thing freely. Went to Orlando. No one's really heard of him since. You know, he got the bag. He went to Orlando. He became I think he was like a second option on the team or third option. You know, ended up and like I said, I don't know where he's at no more. You know, and he was when he was coming up with the Spurs too, like knowing that he came from the G League, that he grinded it out and stuff like that, and he started to really become like a threat in the NBA world. You know, I was becoming a fan. You know,
right.
And then just to see him just poof disappear out of nowhere just because his situation changed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Different coach, probably didn't believe in him as much.
Right.
You know, in certain situations, it's all about having it starts with having the trust from your coach. If you can get trust from your coach, you know what I'm saying, then those cuffs that you usually have on you will come off just because, you know, that coach has so much like trust in you. Like for anyone that's watched The Last Dance recently as well, here's another example. Michael Jordan. When he played under Doug Collins, he had no cuffs on him at all. He could do what he wanted. Everybody else on the team, they had cuffs. Right. It was all give Michael the ball, let Michael do his thing, and just get the hell out the way all the time. Then when Phil Jackson came, you know, Michael said it himself, you know, he didn't like Phil at first because the fact that Phil took the ball out of his hands to share it with everyone else. And Phil was all about team aspects versus the star player aspects. You know, so there's so much that goes into situations along with, you know, again, bringing up The Last Dance. That whole documentary is a great example of situations because you got Jerry Krause who, after they won their 5th ship, was like, you know, you got one more shot at winning the ship, so you better win it or it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Because you're not coming back.
Let me ask you this, man. Let me ask you this. So, like you said, Phil Jackson took the ball from Jordan, right, and distributed throughout the team. And I remember him saying that he did that because if everybody's jumping on Michael, that's all they got to lock down.
Exactly.
Everybody's going to go after Michael, right? So, so my question to you is, you know, I'm like I said, Jordan is, like I said it in one of my posts, and I'm gonna say it right here. Jordan is the GOAT. Kobe is my GOAT, and LeBron is a GOAT. All right. So Jordan, they say Jordan made his team better, but what people are missing is that section right there. Yeah. Was it Jordan or was it Phil Jackson? Because if Phil Jackson would have never came, would his teammates have gotten better? would his teammates have gotten better, and they would win like they
Right.
won, because it wasn't like he was passing the ball like that,
No, it's Phil
because
Jackson.
he wasn't. It's Phil Jackson that
Yeah,
made
I'm
it.
gonna just say it's Phil Jackson, and I'm gonna further what you're saying by bringing up the Lakers team that won those 2 championships in '09 and 2010 as well. Because think about this. So when Phil Jackson wasn't the coach of the Lakers between, I think it was like '04 to '06, '07, something like that. So he wasn't the coach of the Lakers throughout those couple years after Shaq left, and it was just Kobe just balling. Kobe was averaging about 35 a game, multiple 40-point, 50-point, 60-point games, the 81-point game, of course, etc. All just to get the 8 seed, get a 3-1 lead against the Suns, and then blow it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it was easy for the Suns to come back in that playoff series because, like you said, who else are they going to focus on besides Kobe? Smush Parker? Kwame Brown? Chris Mim? I think not. Now we bring it over to '08 to 2010, those championship teams. You got Jordan Farmar, Sasha Vujacic, Vladimir Radmanovic. The list goes. Shannon Brown, who, he's dealing with some legal issues right now. But you have all these players. Andrew Bynum, who was an all-star. Where is he at now? You know what I'm saying? And Andrew Bynum is one of those uncoachable guys too. He just happened to make it through because of his talent and at such a young age.
It's size. You can't coach size, bro.
Yeah, you can't coach size. You can't coach. He was skilled too for his size.
Right. Yeah, he definitely was.
Like he was one of the few. Like it was the latter. It was Shaq in his latter years, but Andrew Bynum was going at it with Shaq at a point. You know what I'm saying? Like he was really banging bodies with him and hanging in there, and he became an all-star, and then boom. After the 2010 season, and he got traded, so for Dwight, his career went away. Didn't really hear much about him except for the fact that he hurt his knee again bowling, and then got a perm, and career edge is over from there. He's still trying to get back into the league though, for the record. And then you got Jordan Farmar.
Mm-hmm.
After they won the second ship, I think he went to Brooklyn. Didn't hear about him again. Sasha Vujacic, he left too. Didn't hear about him again until Phil Jackson tried to bring him back onto the Knicks a few years ago.
Right.
When Phil Jackson was the president.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, didn't hear about him since. And then you got Shannon Brown. Didn't hear about him until recently because he got legal issues going on because he shot somebody that tried to break into his house, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right. They broke into the house, and he
got in trouble for shooting him.
Right.
In his house. That's a whole different thing, though. I'm not gonna get into that.
Yeah.
But
somebody else doing them.
That's the trend, though. And then back then, the Bulls, you got guys like John Paxson and Steve Kerr. They made a name for themselves with those shots, but like those shots wouldn't have happened in those clutch moments if it was under somebody else. Like as far as if somebody else was coaching, because in Cleveland, when Don Collins was the coach and MJ took that shot on Craig Elo, Doug Collins said his game plan was simple: get the ball to MJ, get the fuck out the way.
Right.
Phil Jackson's like, let's be more strategic. You know what I'm saying? And then MJ started to realize the same things. He started to see those double teams in the clutch moments and realized somebody's open. Let me put some faith and some trust into them. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. Trust brings good chemistry, and good team chemistry is what brings out those W's and stuff like that. Because at that point, everyone's fighting for each other. It's not fighting for themselves.
Trust, and it builds that respect with players that are less likely to be chosen to do certain things. Like, Michael did, kick the ball to Steve. You know what I mean? Like, he turned around and he pulled up, and it was money. He had trust in it because he turned around and he said, "Yo, be ready." Everybody's expecting it to come to me. But if Phil Jackson was never there, would he have ever said, "Hey, be ready"? Because the mentality also in today and in the past is if you're the star player should be taking that last shot.
Yeah.
And I get it.
Right.
But star player, this is when if you're really good, if you're really good and you have really high IQ, that's when you realize where people are on the court, who can do what, and then you put like how much trust do you have in that individual,
Right.
because you know this is going to happen. I know I get double teamed a lot or whatnot, and I'm not going to turn around and be like, yo man, don't double team me. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? I'm not about that. You know what I mean? I'm going to just kick it to the man that's open, let him pull
Yeah.
up, like, and just to take it down from like the like NBA, let's take it down to like at your local like YMCA. There's guys where you have superhero dudes in the Y, right? And then there's guys that aren't so good. There's this one dude, Asian dude, little Asian dude named Wee, right?
Okay.
I'm talking about this dude's little, bro. I'm talking about like, man, Wee is probably, man, 5'3" or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Grown man, bro. I'm talking about like he's got to be like 40 now, bro. Like 43 or something, like a grown little skinny dude. Not a great shooter, you know what I'm saying? But he was a hack box, no doubt. He was a hack box, definitely. But like defense, he would be there. I'm talking about he had the goggles on, and he's so small, he'd jump on you or whatever. His English weren't really that great, but he'd jump on you and he'd get hit like, oh no. But at the same time, I always had trust in that guy, no matter what. No matter what, man. And he's sitting over in the corner like all the time. I'm like, I'm gonna kick it down there to him. Granted, the difference is there's time base over here and there's no time over here. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna kick it over here to him to win this game because he's the only one that's gonna have this wide open shot. I've seen him shoot. He comes to the gym. He can shoot the ball. He may not be great. He works on shooting without a hand in his face. Where everybody else practice, getting, playing one-on-one or something like that. He ain't doing that. Man, he was money in the corner for me, man, like multiple times. I had gotten so much respect from him and other players that don't get that type of, that don't get no type of notoriety from other players.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta have those guys on my team. Yeah, they role players, but at the same time, they may not be as strong in a certain position. But that means if you're really a superstar like that, you should be able to pick up the pace and fill up some of them little voids, or areas that they can't really supply much in. You can't guard everybody, but that just means, okay, how do you help, or how do you set things up, or how do you explain to your team, hey, watch out for, we over here in the back, he's got John on him, and John is like, like I don't know, 6 foot or whatever, but he's unorthodox though. You know what I mean? Like, he can't score either, but he's 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
And Wee's on him. He ain't got him in the paint. So it's cool. Just watch him. Don't let him cut back door on him. Because Wee's not catch him. And it's being,
And I'm glad that you brought that story up, because it kind of brings up the fact to me that, it goes, again, situations and opportunity, things like that. But also the fact that if you know what you're good at and what you're not good at, and you focus on the things that you are good at, and you perfect those skills, those things. Like, for example, Andre Roberson.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows him to be a good offensive player at all. As a matter of fact, everyone knows for him to be a terrible offensive player within the NBA world. You know what I'm saying? If he were to hop into a random gym somewhere, he'll bust whoever. You know what I'm saying? But in the NBA world, he's not up to par with a lot of those guys offensively. So what does he do? He focuses on defense. And he's really good on defense. You know what I'm saying? He locks up. He's known to be one of those, prime time perimeter defenders in the league. And OKC, they still miss him right now. Like, they wish they could have him, to up their level of defense. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of times where guys in high school or in college, they wonder, why did that guy get drafted and I didn't? Or why did that guy get a scholarship and I didn't? Things like that. And it's simple. That guy mastered his role on his team. You know what I'm saying? And it made him look good in the games and things like that because of how well he mastered rebounding. Like Dennis Rodman doesn't do anything but rebounding. But he mastered it to the point where now we're thinking about Rodman being the greatest rebounder of all time. or up there, I should say. But go ahead with your story.
A lot of guys, like you said, they try to figure out high school players, college players. They're like, man, how did this guy get in this position or get here and so forth, man? Like, there's a player that I know personally, and I've known him since he was about 15 years old. And, he was playing at Broughton High at the time, Devontae Graham, which he plays for the Charlotte Hornets, right? And I remember when Devontae would come into the YMCA out there at off of Sixth Forts. And, he was a little dude, he'll come out, he can hoop though. He can always hoop. Like, he can always hoop. But even in pickup, he played just his role, man. Like, he wasn't out there trying to get mad buckets. He wasn't out there trying to like cut dudes up. Like, that just wasn't his MO, man. Like, that just wasn't what he did. Like, he was about coming down, facilitating. He turned around and he was supposed to go to Appalachian State. And he decided not to go to Appalachian State and pretty much kind of like reclass. And ended up going to not Harvard. He ended up going to Brewster Academy, right?
Okay. He
went to Brewster, and I remember he completed his year there at Brewster, and I remember looking at IG one day, and you know how like a lot of players now, like, this is still kind of before players would really like taking pictures showing like, oh, this is who I'm going to go visit, like doing visits here. He took a picture inside the Kansas Jayhawks locker room, right? It was their floor or whatever, right? And I don't even remember what the caption said. I just saw that, and then I saw like another picture, and I just took it as like, I'm like, they're interested in Devontae,
Right.
And next thing you know, like, boom, he's a Jayhawk, and I'm like, in my head, now mind you, talking about this is one of the top teams in the NCAA, bro.
It's a powerhouse. Yeah.
It's a powerhouse. Right.
To go from Appalachian to that is
right. But I mean, it's very possible, but I could not. And mind you, like, I'm nowhere near going to the league. I'm way older than them. So I'm sitting and I'm trying to figure out, like, how did he get picked up over other players? Like my little brother. One of my little brothers is Anton Gill, and he played at Louisville, and then he went to Nebraska, and then my other little bro, Isaac Copeland, he went to Brewster with Devontae at the same time. He left Brewster after that. When he left, he went to Georgetown, played there, and then went to Nebraska. But what I just didn't understand was, if you were going to App State and then all of a sudden you shoot up and you're hitting Kansas, and I'm like, how did that happen? Because like, I've seen him play. Your game couldn't have changed, but so much in between that year, because you're still the same person. Like, it didn't like you went to college. Because when you go to college, that first year, you come back, you got crazy bounce, crazy speed, crazy strength. You got all this crazy stuff that you didn't have a year ago. Like, that's a guarantee. If you play any type of college ball, you're gonna come back someone different. He didn't have that yet, but he might have got that at Brewster in that time. But he turned around, he got there, and I say all this to say, he's a great role player. He's a great facilitator. Right. He went to Kansas, and I'm talking about, like, these dudes went to the dance a couple of times. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, they won their tour, they won their conference.
And he was balling in Kansas. He was balling.
And what something, I would watch the games, and when he would play, I could see everything that he did growing up as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 17-year-old high school player.
Right.
It was just more sound, more put together. He didn't change his game to where it was like, this is totally different. Like, no, he honed in on his skills, just like everybody should be doing right now during quarantine. Right. If you shoot the ball and work on something that's repetitive, something repetitive. Right. He honed in on his skills. And then he turned around, and I was like, okay, cool, boom. Then when he got drafted to the league, I was like, he made it. I was like, he made it to the league. And now I didn't think he was going to get drafted. I saw that he was going, but I didn't think he was going to get drafted. And when he got drafted, I was like, wow, okay. Now, mind you, I haven't seen Devontae in years, like in person play.
Right.
Like I haven't played him like in person to like see like
Firsthand.
what playing him firsthand anymore, right? So he's increased like over you're talking about 5 years of not seeing this kid, you know. So he's definitely, obviously, if the NBA saw him and somebody was like, hey, we want that. There's something about his game that says a lot. You know what I mean? We got Monte Graham here, we got PJ Tucker here, man, we got man, who else we got, bro? We got so many people that just come home. We got John that come back, John Wall, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you know, all these guys are like down the street. Like all these guys are down the street, like, you know, and I'm like, Devontae's game has come up so much and is on such another level. Like I just watched what the what's it called, Bleacher Report posted about him or whatever, and like he's a problem. He's a problem.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely,
like,
especially now. I mean, he's about to be he's a potential most improved player of the year this year.
See what I'm saying? See, that's what I'm saying. Most improved player of the year. Now, and I'm gonna put this in here too for a lot of players that don't understand this also. When he got drafted, he was there, you know. And then I seen him, you know, he'll get a little bit of burn in the NBA, and then they send him down to the D League. Now, from one of my really, really close bros, man, Michael Joyner. Played in the D League, played over in China. Now he's one of the assistant coaches for the Memphis Hustle. All right. So this is my bro. He's one of the Memphis Hustle G League coaches. And I'm saying this because this is what he said to me, and I always knew this, but this is what Devontae was doing. Mind you, he wasn't the G League coach yet, so he doesn't even know Devontae. But Devontae would get moved down, because they do the two-way player thing now, right? So he'd get moved down, and Devontae would go there, kill, get like 30-something, 40, and then move up, right? And go up. Now, if you're not killing, getting 30-something, 40-something on a regular, if you're not getting 35, 40 on a regular basis in the G League, bro, you're going to stay in the G League.
Right.
And I'm going to say, I mean that by all means. You're going to stay in the G League. You can look at this, people gonna look at this and be like, man, who is he? Da 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 da. Like, you ain't been wherever, da da da. I ain't got to be there. I'm like anybody else that's watching. They know that you're gonna be there because yes, you're nice, you got game, but you're not as special as you think you are. Like I might not even be like that. Like I might be like a 15-point person in the G League. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
which would be like a 5 points per game in the NBA.
Yeah. Right, you know what I mean? Like there's a difference here. So he come down, give you 40, you know what I'm saying? And then he goes back and it's like, okay, he's giving you, 15, 20. Like that's what they want. And he's a point guard. And a lot of guys don't get it. Naturally, the point guard position is to facilitate, not the main scorer. On the outlet, the ball goes out to the 2. If the 2 can't get it, it goes to the 3. And then if the coach says, hey, we want something to happen down there, give it to 4 and 5 in the paint. That's how it's supposed to work. Not, oh, I'm the one, I'm coming down. I'm getting these buckets, I'm going straight through. That's what happens. Even Kyrie, Kyrie is a facilitator too. He just happened to be able to be crazy, score. He's underrated. He can score. He can do that, but he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's just the best at doing what he's supposed to do. He's the most exciting, most flashy looking, to do it. That's why the craze is there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm down the street from Duke, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had a conversation with one of my buddies yesterday. Dude, I forgot he even went. I'm a Duke fan and forget that he went to Duke because he only played
like 6 games.
Yeah, like 4 to 6 games. I'm like, okay, I go in there and watch the stuff. I go work out in there and I look and I'm like, dang, I forgot he was here.
Right.
But he's underrated. You know what I mean? Like Devontae is one of those players that people should not sleep on. I promise you. Right. After this right here, if he's still working on his game, because he's been grinding. He was grinding before that, which got him where he's at. He's obviously became more improved. He's gonna be a name. He's gonna be a household name. I promise you, there'll probably be a Funko Pop with a Devontae Graham.
And you know what? Not to discredit anything that he's done or anything like that. This is nothing. It's not to do that. This is to kind of show more about how opportunity is important.
That's right. Yeah, it's definitely
Kemba left.
opportunity.
Kemba left,
Yeah.
but yeah, Terry Rozier did come through, but he's not a Kemba. You know what I'm saying? So for Kemba to leave, that essentially opened the door for Devontae, because Devontae's rookie year, he was bouncing between the bench on the Hornets and the G League, like you were saying. And so,
Mhm.
like I said, Kemba leaving definitely opened up that door, and he's done nothing but flourish. You know what I'm saying?
And
Get
I'm,
his opportunity.
check this out. So I'm gonna tell you this too. So during that time, okay, so mind you, he went there, right? So like I told you, my little bro played at Louisville, right?
Yeah.
Anton Hill played at Louisville. Anton used to play at a school in Raleigh called Ravenscroft. Okay, it's a private school, prep school. He played there. His last year, he left and he went to Hargrave Military Academy. Do you
Yeah.
know who else was at Hargrave Military Academy at this time?
I
Terry
don't.
Rozier. Terry
Oh, okay.
Rozier. They like this. Terry Rozier went where? He went to Louisville.
Louisville, yeah.
They both went to Louisville together, right? Okay, boom. They both can go. They both can go. They both are. I don't see. I don't see any difference in dog in Anton or Terry. Neither one of these two. No difference in dog in neither one. Both of them. If you need the bucket, they're gonna go get the bucket. That's where the politics come in. Coach is either going to let you play or you're not going to play. Now,
Yeah.
in this, Anton got hurt. So my little bro got hurt. So he couldn't really move like he's supposed to. All right, got it. He ended up, transferring. He stayed, he transferred before all that stuff ended up happening at Louisville, which we ain't getting into that.
Right.
Terry went to the draft that year before all that stuff, pretty much kind of happened. Boom,
Right.
they gone. Now, Terry gets to the league. Terry's doing his thing up in Boston, killing, doing his thing because they needed a facilitator. He could
Right.
score.
Because Kyrie was hurt.
He was hurt, right? But that facilitation is just an opportunity. It's opportunity in politics. Politics and opportunity. Because when you get to the NBA, you're still supposed to work hard, but you have practice, but it's like, let's go over the plays practice.
Yeah,
It ain't
more
like
walkthroughs.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you have individual workouts and stuff. Like if you're at a big college, you have individual workouts. Like you have team practice. But for real, it's really about your individual workout. Like what are you going to do to improve yourself? Because if you don't improve yourself, you know what I mean? You can't help the team. Easy.
100. All right. Now, I want to make a final point really quick before we conclude. But and after I make this point, I have one more question for you. But essentially, the point that I want to make is that there are a lot of people that play the game of basketball not to earn money, but to earn the respects of their peers. You know what I'm saying? I feel like earning the respects of your peers is what drives, hoopers to show up the next day at the gym. You know what I'm saying? And continue to put in that work and whatnot. Because at least for me, it's a very euphoric feeling to walk into the gym and to know that everybody in that gym already, when they see you walk in, they know that you're a threat. You know what I'm saying? They know that if you're not on their team, there's definitely a huge possibility where they might not stay on the court because you're gonna knock them off the court. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that, like gaining that level of respect, and sometimes, obviously that, like, wanting that respect grows from just your inter-community peers to wanting to go worldwide with it. You know what I'm saying? That's where these guys that end up in the league, that's how they end up in the league, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Just because they put in that work on top of, any influence that they may receive and whatnot. But the drive really comes from wanting to be the best.
Right.
Wanting to earn that respect from your peers, wanting to, be the guy that everyone wants to wait in the gym for. Like if there's 10 guys in the gym and some people want to start running 5-on-5 or something like that, you want to be the guy where some of those guys in the gym that are ready to play are more like, no, let's wait for so and so to pull up. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to pick up that guy over there. Like, he's good and all, but
We
So
know.
and so that's about to pull up is a lot colder than him. A lot colder than him. He'll make sure that we stay on the court all day.
Hmm. That's right.
You know, so all y'all watching, don't play for money. Don't do anything for money. But you know, find your why. You know what I'm saying? And what you do, and you'll be great.
That
You
makes
know.
sense. That
So
makes total.
with that, why do you love basketball?
I love basketball because it gives me an opportunity just to be free, man. Like I prefer to play outside for real, for real. Um, Being outside playing ball, is a time to relax, time to just be stress free. I've been through a lot of different things in my life that, like the last thing that I want to worry about is somebody like yelling while I'm even on the court, yelling like, hey, man, get down here, big man, or something like that, or whatever. Like, I care less. Like, I'm out here because I'm put it like this. I'm gonna say it like this. I play ball to live. I don't live to play ball.
Okay. I don't think anything else needs to be said from that, man. But before we go ahead and conclude, do you have any last words for this interview?
Yeah, man, I want to say thank you to the Hoop Fanatic, bro, like for having me out here. And like, it means a lot. It means a lot to have someone reach out and, ask you to be a part of a project, lets you know that you're doing something right, and you're being noticed.
Right.
And that's really important. For me, it's so important because my whole goal of everything that I'm doing with Nomad Hoops is not for money. It's just to become legendary. I know I'm a legend or a living legend in my area, but you know, I want to be like legendary. I want to be immortalized. So I want others to know, yo, like Zobe One Kenobi was that dude. Like he was real. He was a stand-up guy. Like he was respectable. He was responsible. Like he's just somebody that you want to be able to reach out to and be able to communicate to. And like I'm tangible, and being tangible is a big deal to me, man. Like if you're not tangible, then I don't think we really need to rock out too much. I don't think we need to really make that type of bond. I'm not, as a lot of people say they're not into making new friends or whatnot, but it's not about that, man. It's about being able to talk to somebody, because you don't know, you might be able to help somebody else with something that you've been through.
Right.
So,
and
yeah.
you never know the type of connection that you can gain from doing that.
You don't, man. You have no idea, man. I know so many different people in the game, man. And so like friends, like shout out like two of my big bros. Two of my big bros. A lot of people know. You know what I mean? Corey Homicide Williams. He's a New York City street ball legend. He's a legend in Australia also. He's an ABL broadcaster. So he's an ABL MVP. You know what I mean? Like he's doing it. You know what I mean? He represents Wolf. Wolf is his brand. That's what he do. And then shout out to my other bro, man. Everybody in their mom that who know this man. You know what I'm saying? Larry Williams. If you don't know who Larry Williams is by name, then you definitely probably just a fan and not like a super fan or even know. My bro Larry Williams, aka the Bone Collector. You know what I'm saying? Like guys like that, those guys are tangible. Like I say something, they respond to me. They say something, I respond to them. I have to. Like that's what I want. That right there, those guys are legends. Those guys are living legends. Like being tangible is what makes legends. Man, and everybody can't touch, the legends or whatever, but it's still like, even like with Kobe talked to a certain couple of people, and he was able to touch those people, and then it's word of mouth from there. And they're like, hey, have you ever spoken to Kobe directly? And they're like, nah. And then the next person, they're like, yeah, I spoke to him once. He said, hey to me in the grocery store. I dropped my wallet. He picked it up and said, hey, here you go. I don't know, but it's just like, small things, man. Small things make a big difference.
And that time where Kobe was around that car accident, he got out the car and helped out.
See, small things, small things,
tangible, and that those little things, they resonate. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that resonate. You know, versus what you do on the court. You know what I'm saying? Those things don't resonate as much as who they think that you are as a person.
Right. That's why it's so important. You gotta talk to them. That's why it's so important. So I'm gonna say this. This is the last thing I am gonna say. If you watch this, I want you to understand that I'm tangible. You can reach out and you can speak to me directly. You can hit me in the DM. You let me know that you seen this video. You seen this interview, and we'll rap. We will rap.
Let them know. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys like what you heard, go ahead, hit a like, double tap. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe, comments, all that good stuff. Make sure you guys go follow at Zobe1 and at NOMADHOOPS. Make sure you go follow Hoop Fanatic, of course, if you're not already. And stay tuned for some more content.